The 49ers and the Bills play at 5:20 prime time in what's going to be one of the most epic snowstorms in the NFL this season. In fact, according to the weather forecast, it is slated to be 30 degrees during game time, which is sub-freezing temperatures, and it's also slated to be snowing 0.4 inches per hour. That means by the time of the entirety of the game, you're looking at about 2 inches of snow, which means the grounds crew is going to be working overtime just to keep the field level as playable as possible for the players. Now, the Bills should take care of the 49ers. They're 7-point favorites. And not just that, the 49ers are missing several key players this game. Just injuries all over the board. And when you think of the snow, it's typically a great equalizer because it turns the game from a passing game to a rushing game. Unfortunately, the 49ers have one of the worst trenches on both sides of the ball. You have the people that are out. You have Trent Williams, who's not able to play. Nick Bosa, who's not playing. Now let's stop Nick Bosa. The 49ers are 5-11 when Nick Bosa doesn't play. Nick Bosa covers a lot of sins. Covers a lot of weaknesses. In fact, when you looked at the Seattle game, the 49ers had that game essentially in the bag because the defense was suffocating the Seahawks. But as soon as Nick Bosa sacked Geno Smith and went out for the rest of the game, that's when the Seahawks came alive. That's when they scored 2 touchdowns. That's when the rushing game started taking off. And then you look last week against Green Bay. Green Bay didn't beat the 49ers in the air. They beat them in the trenches. So without Nick Bosa, that's a scary thought considering that snowstorms turn into a trench game. Now, hopefully the 49ers can figure that out. But you also have a few other guys that are out. Jordan Elliott, who's a defensive tackle on the D-line. Already on a weak defensive line, you're missing one of your starting defensive tackles. You have Diamondor Lenore, who's not able to play, but Charvarius Ward will be playing this week. Hasn't played since week 8, since the tragic news about his daughter passing away. He's been out and away, and as he should be, but he is playing this week, but Diamondor Lenore is out, the other starting cornerback, which means Renardo Green, who's questionable, should play in this game. You also have Aaron Banks, who's not playing this game, the left guard. You have Dre Greenlaw, who was just activated this week, who's not able to play this week. They're hoping to have him back for next week. And then you have several people that are questionable. You have Kevin Givens. Hopefully he's able to play defensive tackle. Dominic Pooney, who's no longer on the injury report, who is a full participant, but still has that shoulder injury that he's dealing with. So you have a lot of starters that are either barely able to play or not playing at all, which plays into the Bills' hand. Now, when you start breaking things down even further, it doesn't look good for the 49ers. We talked about how Nick Bosa covers a lot of sins, a lot of weaknesses, but there's weaknesses all over the place. The 49ers have the number 20th defense when it comes to scoring defense. That means they give up a lot of points. Now, they're 11th against the run, which isn't bad at all. But then when you think about it, when it comes to one of the most important things, scoring and third down conversions, the 49ers defense ranks 26th when it comes to getting the opposing offense off the field. That means on third down scenarios, they are 26th out of a possible 32 teams. That is not good at all. Then you take into account Fred Warner's been playing with a broken ankle, fractured ankle, but he hasn't been playing well. He had 4 missed tackles last week. And the question has to be, when it comes to Fred Warner, we love your heart playing through that injury. As a captain, you're trying to set the tone. But is that harming the defense more than it's helping it? Should D. Winters maybe be playing in your spot so you can heal up and have him play next to Devondre Campbell? Now, luckily, because it is a snow game, things slow down. So Devondre Campbell, who shouldn't be starting, in my opinion, should be D. Winters. Devondre Campbell might actually have a decent game because everything slows down, and we know how slow Devondre Campbell is. And so he could have a decent game. But the key is going to be, can the 49ers rushing offense take over here? I think this is a game where you have to give Jordan Mason carries because it's going to be cold, which means those hits are going to hit way more. You can't have McCaffrey in the entire game like you have been. It needs to be a McCaffrey and Jordan Mason type game. In fact, the 49ers have the number 7th ranked offense, averaging 138 rushing yards per game. The Bills have the number 11 rushing defense, the 13th ranked rushing defense, which means the 49ers should have some success on the ground, but you have to commit to the run. Now, Brock Purdy's playing, which means that's great considering the Bills may not stack the box as much because Brock Purdy can hit some of those throws, unlike Brandon Allen, who was all over the place last week. But we don't know how strong Brock Purdy's arm is, so they could stack the box, almost daring Purdy to throw just to kind of test to see, is he really back to himself, or is he just in just to hand the ball off and try to keep the defense honest? So I think that's going to be an early test to see how does Purdy adapt to not only the conditions, but his shoulder injury. Now, the Bills have the number 11th ranked rushing offense, while the 49ers ranked rushing defense as ranked number 11. So it's 11 on 11. So something is going to give there. Hopefully the 49ers can sell out against the run. Now with the snow, who knows what's going to happen. But this game, I think it's going to be a lot closer than what people think. According to the Vegas odds makers, 90% of bets are going for the Bills, which means everybody's assuming the Bills are going to win, which means if you're assuming that, something different might actually happen. And I think with the snow going on, it's going to come down to coaching. It's going to come down to game management. It's going to come down to, can we convert when we need to? Can we actually score touchdowns and not rely on field goals? Because let's be honest, with 9 mile an hour winds, you have freezing temperatures. Kicking's going to be difficult, anything that's beyond 25 yards. So you need to score touchdowns and you need to play sound fundamental defense. That's the way you're going to win this game. And I think the 49ers have a chance here. I think they know that their window of error is very small, a small margin of error. And I think they realize that they need to win this more than the Bills need to win this. And so I anticipate the 49ers showing up this game. I anticipate Christian McCaffrey scoring 2 touchdowns. I think Brock Purdy's going to throw for 1 to George Kittle. And I think this game is actually, surprisingly, the 49ers going to win by 10. That is my prediction. The 49ers are going to win by 10 points this game. It's going to completely shock everybody. And I think that they're going to be prepared to play in this windstorm, which is different. I know that's going to shock people because the 49ers are known for not packing cleats well. They end up having to switch out their cleats all the time. But I think because they know the situation, they know where they're at, that they need to win this game. But also I think the weather is going to be on their side. Now, I think not playing Trent Williams and Nick Bosa is a smart move. They need to get healthy, and why play them in the temperatures when the weather can be a great equalizer for you? If you win this game, you need them down the stretch. You need to take care of the Bears. You need to take care of the Rams. You need to take care of the Cardinals. You need to honestly go into the Lions game knowing that you're probably going to lose, but you can afford to lose that game because you've taken care of business from now until then. The 49ers have a one-loss window, in my opinion. Unless the rest of the NFC West completely collapses, the 49ers have a one-loss window to continue to stay in contention for the NFC West. And it starts here in this game, and I think Christian McCaffrey is going to be the game's MVP. I think Brock Purdy is going to do just enough to keep the playmakers in the game. I think Deebo Samuel's going to score a touchdown this game. I think with all the off the field noise that's been going on, I think with the holding each other accountable and locking in when it comes to Jake Moody, I think things are coming back to Deebo. He's probably telling Kyle Shanahan, give me the ball. Give me the ball 60 times this game. I need to prove that I still have it and that I can carry this team to a win even when the rest of the playmakers are out. And so I think that's what we're going to expect. Again, I think the 49ers are going to win by 10. My prediction is 34-24 49ers in this snowstorm of a game on Sunday Night Football, and that this is actually going to propel them back into a tie for first place, because I do anticipate every other NFC West team losing this Sunday. And again, that's all we have this week for Ninerology. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.